Hello, good day viewers. In this tutorial, we are going to solve this quadratic equation 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equal to 0 using 4 different methods. By factoring, by completing the square method, using quadratic formula, and lastly using Po-Shen Loh method of solving quadratic equation. So if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new content. Don't forget to comment and like on this video as well. Let's get started. To start with the first one, by factoring. All right, you need to take the leading coefficient 2 and multiply with the constant term negative 3. Once you do that, 2 times negative 3 will give us negative 6. Then you think of two numbers that you can multiply together to get this negative 6. The moment you add them together, you get the coefficient of x, which is 5. And I know that the numbers must be 6 and negative 1. So we need to replace this 6 and negative 1 with the middle term by just attaching x here and x here. So we have 6x minus x, right? Because 1x is the same thing as x. 6x minus x is the same thing as 5x. So we write 2x squared plus 6x minus x. This will replace the middle term. Then we still have minus 3 equal to 0. Now we are going to factorize in batches, the first two and the second two. What do we have in common between these two terms? We have number 2 because 2 can divide 2 as well as 6. So we have 2 here. As well as x because x can divide x squared and it can divide x as well. So we have 2x outside. If you take 2, you divide by 2, you have 1. X squared divided by x, you have x. 6 divided by 2, you have 3. Positive, right? X divided by x, you have 1. So 1 times 3 is still 3. Then immediately, the sign you have here, bring it down here. Between these two terms, we only have 1. So you bring 1 here. And the whole of negative x divided by negative 1 will give us x. Negative 3 divided by negative 1 will give us positive 3. This is equal to 0. Now you can see that the numbers or the terms under the parentheses are exactly the same. We're going to factor it out again, which is x plus 3. From the first term, we only have 2x left, right? From the second term, we only have negative 1 left. This is equal to 0. All right. Then you're going to set each factor here to be equal to 0. You have either x plus 3 equal to 0 or 2x minus 1 equal to 0. By taking 3 to the other side, it becomes negative. So we have x equal to negative 3, first solution. Or if you take negative 1 to the other side, it becomes positive. Then you divide both sides by 2. You have x equal to 1 divided by 2. And hence, these are the solutions to this problem. We are done with factoring. But before we move to completing the square method, let me show you a very simple way or a shortcut to factorize something like this. So just use this 6 and negative 1 to factorize this. We have x. 6 is positive, right? 6. But since the leading coefficient is not 1, divide by that. Multiply by another x, then this time around minus 1, right? Divide by leading coefficient. This is equal to 0. So now this is very simple to solve because 6 divided by 2 is 3. And once you take, let me show you, x plus 3 here equal to 0 or x minus 1 over 2 equal to 0. So by taking this one here, we have x equal to negative 3 or x equal to 1 over 2. The same solutions. But this is just a shortcut in case of objective questions. Let us move on to the completing the square method. The completing the square method, the first step is to take the constant term to the other side. So once you do that, you have 2x squared plus 5x equals, the sign will change to positive 3, right? Next, we're going to divide every single term by the leading coefficient 2. Divide this, you have x squared plus Divide this, you have 5 over 2x equal to 3 over 2. We have divided every single term by the leading coefficient. Next, we are going to add the square of half the coefficient of x on both sides. So here, the coefficient of x is 5 over 2. Half of that whole squared. So this is what we are going to add to both sides. So you can see that 5 times 1 is 5, 2 times 2 is 4. If you square this, you have 25 divided by 16. So we are going to add 25 divided by 16 on both sides. So we have x squared here plus 5 over 2x plus 25 over 16 equal to 25 over 16 plus 3 over 2. All right? Let me start with the right-hand side. The LCM will be 16, between 16 and 2. 16 into 16 is 1, times 25 is 25, plus 2 into 16 is 8, and 8 times 3 is 24. Then this is a perfect squared quadratic expression, and how do we factorize it? We take x plus half the leading coefficient, half the coefficient of x, half of 5 over 2 will be 5 over 4. So we have 5 over 4 here, whole squared. This and this mean the same thing. All right, so we have x plus 5 over 4 whole squared equal to 49 over 16, right? Now, to get rid of this power of 2, we're going to take square root of both sides. We have x plus 5 over 4 equal to plus or minus. I don't have more space, so let me take square root directly because I know square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 16 is 4. Next, we're going to take this one to the other side since we are solving for x. So let me do it here. We have x equal to minus 5 over 4, right? As it crosses over, plus or minus 7 over 4. So the two values we have are x equal to minus 5 over 4 plus 7 over 4. If you simplify this, this will give us minus 5 plus 7 will give us positive 2 over 4, right? And positive 2 over 4 is 1 over 2. So x equal to 1 over 2. This is one of the solutions. Then you use the minus sign. We have x equal to minus 5 minus 7 over 4. Minus 5 minus 7 is minus 12, and minus 12 divided by 4 is minus 3. So x equal to minus 3. The same solutions, right? All right, we are done with completing the square method. Moving on to quadratic formula. All right, the general formula for solving quadratic equation, remember it is x equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. But we need to find a, b, and c. A is the leading coefficient, which is 2. B is the coefficient of the middle term, which is 5. And C is the constant, which is negative 3. All we have to do is to take all of this and plug them here. So x will be equal to minus b. B is 5 minus 5, right? Minus 5 plus or minus square root of b squared, that is 5 squared, minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 3. Divide by 2 times a is 2. Let's simplify. This is minus 5 plus or minus square root of 5 squared is 25. Minus minus is plus. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Divide by 2 times 2 is 4. 25 plus 24 is 49. Square root of 49 is 7. So this is minus 5 plus or minus 7 divided by 4. That's x. So let me compute for the values of x directly. X is equal to minus 5 plus 7. That is positive 2. Divide by 4. 2 over 4 is 1 over 2. One solution, that is the first solution. Then we use the minus sign. Minus 5 minus 7 minus 12 divided by 4. Minus 12 divided by 4 is minus 3. Or x equal to minus 3. These are the two solutions we have. Exactly the same, right? So we are done with this one. Then lastly, the Po-Shen Loh. So lastly, the Po-Shen Loh. Why the Po-Shen Loh? Sometimes you may have a constant term which is significantly larger number. And you know you have to think of two numbers we can multiply to get that larger number, which is very difficult. So this man said you can start from the coefficient of x. But first of all, we have to divide every single term by the leading coefficient, which is 2 here. So this divided by 2 will give us just x squared plus 5 divided by 2x minus 3 divided by 2 equal to 0 divided by 2 equal to 0, right? Aha. So those two numbers you can multiply together to get this. And once you add them together, you get this. Though they are very simple to come up with. But in case this number is very large, you cannot do that easily. So he said that you can take half of this and half of 5 over 2. And remember, this is how to factorize, right? X maybe plus something, or minus something, then times another x plus something, that will give us 0. In this case, these two values multiplied to negative 3 over 2 and added up to 5 over 2. But in case this number is big, you should start here. Half of 5 over 2 will give us 5 over 4. All right. He said that you can remove and add the same quantity to this number. So let's remove u. We have to look for u. Then also 5 over 4 plus u. Observe, if you add these two numbers together, if you add them together, you must get 5 over 2 because negative u and positive u will cancel, leaving only 5 over 4 plus 5 over 4, which is 10 over 4, the lowest term equal to 5 over 2. It must give us this back. But once we find that value of u here, that we can multiply these two together to get the constant is negative 3 divided by 2. Once we are able to find u substituted here, we are going to obtain those values to plug into these two boxes. So let's do that. This is already difference of two squares. You square the first time, you get 25 over 16 minus square the second term, and this will remain negative 3 divided by 2. Bring this one to the other side, it becomes u squared equal to 25 over 16 plus 3 over 2 as it crosses over. I think I have simplified this previously, which is 49 divided by 16. So let me continue here. U squared is equal to 49 divided by 16. If you take square root of both sides, you have u equal to plus or minus. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 16 is 4. So we have plus or minus 7 over 4. But I don't need that plus or minus because I already have minus and plus here. So now let us plug in 7 over 4 in here, right? So we have 5 over 4 minus 7 over 4 and 5 over 4 plus 7 over 4. Will this give us negative 3 over 2? That's what we need to confirm. 5 minus 7 will give us negative 2 over 4, that is negative 1 over 2. Negative 1 over 2 times this plus this will give us 12 divided by 4 is 3. Yeah, negative 1 over 2 times 3 will give us negative 3 over 2. So you can just take these two values and plug them here and solve. You're good to go. So we have negative 1 over 2. Then we have positive 3. So by setting each factor here to be 0, it implies that either x equal to 1 over 2 as it crosses over equality sign, or x equal to -3. These are the two solutions. As simple as that. For graphically, you can try that. It is time consuming, so I cannot do that at the moment. Thank you for watching. Do share to your learning colleagues, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos. Bye bye.